to Inside the Show. I'm Scuffy Hughes Cougs, and today we got, I mean, every week we got a lot of things to talk about, but we got a new program to talk about. We got a roster update to talk about. We got player of the month predictions for you. However, we're not going with content to start out with here, Cougs. We are going with maybe, should I say, some glaring issues that were coming up. And, we talk about on the show. We say this every time when we're bringing up constructive feedback. We are going to talk about the good and bad, right? Um, and first topic that I kind of want to talk about, which it's kind of ironic because I remember last week we are going over. I was like, I'm still having fun with this game, and I still am, right? I'm still am, but I'm not taking it as competitive as I once was. But even with that said, man, there is some glaring issues with hitting, I believe, in this game, and I feel like it needs to be talked about. I I could go through each bullet point that I want to talk about, but I just want to say overall, hitting has been much the same from 21 and 22. I think you could agree with that, right?
I agree.
Yep. So, however, they did make new changes to. I mean, it wasn't towards the hitting engine, but new features, right? We got the PCI anchor. Great. Fantastic. And then we got the dynamic PCI. And that's where I want to kind of shits into the dynamic PCI. What is that supposed to do? It's supposed to decrease your PCI as you go outside the zone. However, Cougs, I don't know what it is, but through playing the last week and a half, I feel like that's non-existent. I feel like foul balls are through the roof, never seen before. Way out of the zone hits are just I just never seen it like this before. And I know when playing this game and when streaming it and when I get those type of hits, I'm like, that should be a hit. But that's what I'm feeling right now. I'm feeling like there is it's impossible pitch right now. And I feel like pitching was so good last year. And I feel like we're taking a step back. And it's not because the pitching's bad, it's because how the hitting engine is working right now. And
Yeah, I feel you. I feel everything you're saying, man. Like I I I still stand by my point that I've made in the past where I don't necessarily know if the hitting engine itself is what's messed up. I just think it's the feedback, and the feedback just consistently doesn't make sense, especially when we're talking about the dynamic PCI and we're talking about being able to foul off all these pitches. I can't see my opponent's PCI in the feedback. They took that away this year, but I can see mine, and I know my opponent is getting some similar ones because I've seen myself literally foul off a ball where my PCI isn't even close. And I'm not even talking about the inner PCI. I'm talking about the outer PCI. So the fact that the dynamic PCI is in theory supposed to help limit the amount of foul balls, it just really hasn't changed anything in my opinion. I'm not seeing a significantly higher amount of swing and misses out of the zone this year. It really does feel like a copy and paste from hitting from last year. And I think SDS is comfortable with their hitting engine. I think they like what they have. Like I said, I still think the feedback needs to be delivered a little bit better to the player because I just think whatever we're getting really doesn't tell the story. Because when I see foul balls and off PCI hits and all that type of stuff, what am I supposed to think about that? Am I supposed to say that this was a good swing? Am I supposed to say that, oh, it's baseball, round bat, round ball? It's like I get weird things happen in baseball, but I think it just has to be visualized better in the feedback as to why this type of stuff is happening. The feedback, I think, is what drives everybody crazy.
yeah. I do want to know, like, I'm seeing some balls in the dirt that are getting fouled off. I'm going through clips throughout Twitter. That's just it's the foul balls for me, and how they getting to like I want to know how they're making contact. That is it because the outer PCI just makes contact to the ball, and no matter what, that's a foul ball as is. Like I kind of need more information on that, right? I think that's some lacking where we don't know, where it's kind of a gray area. Like how the heck did he foul this off? Is it where does this come about? So I like to hear more about that. And just with all this and said, we are always going to get these very late hits, lineouts with perfect, but with the foul rates going the way it is with the way as zone hits, it's going to make bad user input, which is going to happen. We know that's going to happen. It's part of the game. They're going for more realistic gameplay, but it's going to shine more, right? Because when you feel like you're doing everything you can to get out your opponent, even when they're chasing out of the zone and yet still getting successful hits out of that, it's going to make the bad user input shine more than your good input. Um, and I agree with your feedback. I feel like they need to take out the feedback with the PCI in general and just have it be the swing where it just shows the meter and shows you where you make contact on the ball. Because I've seen some PCIs where I'll square up a ball. However, like not square up, but almost square up. However, it was off the end of bat when I saw the swing feedback, so it made more sense. But I definitely agree 100%. Feedback probably needs a little bit more adjusting to that. I don't know. It's something that needs to be brought up. I know a lot of other users, especially within the content creation, are I guess a little bit frustrated, but I feel like we are ready for some type of tuning. Not like we saw. Was it 20 where we got the update after day one or 21? I forget.
I think it was 20, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, so, um, I'm happy they didn't go that route again because you do need to take your time to get the data, which they found in 20 and then they adjusted in 21. But I just think we're at that time where maybe we'll see a gameplay tuning sooner than later. Um, but yet, for me personally, like I said, I'm still having fun with the game. But it just I see the frustration of others because you also gotta look like this is a video game, right? So you gotta reward more skillful input than not. So I don't know. That's just my rant.
No, I feel it. I think it's a good rant. It's a rant that we need to talk about.
Mhm.
Like you said at the beginning of the podcast, anything that we cover that's good in MLB the show, we also have to do our best to cover the bad. And right now, it just there's a lot of frustration with hitting, and I don't know how much of it is also due to the fact that we're just using like lower overall cards. Like I don't
Yeah,
know if lower overall pitchers and lower overall hitters, if that's kind of the game that we're just playing at the start of the year. Maybe we're not having this discussion when everybody's got 99s all throughout the field. But I mean, you know, right now it feels like it's really hard to pitch in this game. And like you said, it's a video game. You want to be rewarded for your good input. And I was playing ranked seasons yesterday on Hall of Fame trying to make a World Series push. And I was getting these games where it just was like, it's so draining when you're continuously, putting up some good feedback based off what the feedback is telling you. And it's just like out after out after out. And then, you get this inside fastball that you hit off the handle that somehow finds its way behind the first baseman and falls in for a double. It's so frustrating sometimes. And, at the end of the day, yes, we are playing a baseball video game. Weird things happen. I just wish that things were just presented to us to make things make a little bit more sense and kind of just make people understand the game a little bit better because I don't think that's really what's happening at the moment. So we'll see
yeah,
what happens, man. I agree with you. I think we are in a position where I don't think anybody's really going to complain about a gameplay patch that tweaks some things.
yeah,
I think we're at that point.
yeah. I mean, we're basically a month in now. Like yesterday was a month
First.
anniversary. Yep, the first. So we're a month into the game. So I do feel like we're in that area of getting a game update, but we have transitioned into that. We have been getting up the game updates for other things to fix crashes because we still hear about bugs, even freeze off still. And then they pushed out one, I believe that was yesterday morning, for game update 5. But we'll go over what happened beforehand. So PlayStation 5 no, PlayStation in general, enabled 120 hertz for PlayStation 5 console. Now, Xbox already had this in place. That's why we always had the discussion: does Xbox play better than PS5? Um, we could get into that discussion, but let me first go over the update. And then when they enable that, you couldn't get into online games that you play on the PlayStation. So we had the community itself had to figure out what's happening here. Then they realized you had to disable the 120 hertz. Now we get a game update from SDS yesterday where you can now have it enabled and play online. I haven't tried it out myself here, Cougs, but I mean it's good to it took a bit, it took a couple days, but they got the fix ready to go, push it out, and now a lot of more PlayStation users are happy, especially after the conversations that's been having for the past week or two, where we see a lot of content creators shifting over to Xbox and playing on Xbox due to the feedback and the responsiveness of the Xbox in general when playing MLB Show.
Yeah, I'm one of those people. I am now Xbox gang.
Hey man, I've been here for a year. I'm to tell you, man.
I
It's
mean,
so
look,
good,
the
right?
game just feels so good over here,
Yeah.
and whether it's the 120 hertz or not, because I haven't played on the PS5 since they added the fix for the 120 hertz issue. I don't really have any desire to because I'm loving the Xbox controller. I feel
Yep.
like the input is just so quick, and everything just feels so much more responsive. I've changed, Scuffy. I've gone to the dark side. But I mean, it just before that, I mean, like, dude, this whole year, up until the first night I started playing Xbox a little under a week ago, playing on PlayStation, and I'm sitting there in all-star games, and I'm getting these losses and everything, and I'm just like, man, why does my timing feel so bad this year? I can't seem to get any sort of
Mhm.
consistency down with my timing. I'm late on fastballs inside on All-Star. I can't hit a Chapman fastball to save my life. The sliders are throwing me off because the timing on the fastball is all messed up. Blah 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 blah. I go to Xbox within two at bats. I'm like, whoa, this is wild. I'm gonna give it time. I'm gonna play. I played like five ranked games. I could not believe how much better my timing was just by switching over to the console and using the Power A controller for the Xbox.
Yep.
It's crazy how much better I feel like the game plays over on this console. And like I said, I haven't tried the PS5 since 120 hertz was um like fixed or that issue was changed or whatever. But I did go back to PlayStation before that happened to record a video for my channel, and oh my god, I it was like I had never played this game before. It was
Yep.
so hard to adjust to.
Yeah. No. When I did it last year, because I mean, last year I was mostly on Xbox, but late in the year I tried to do where I wanted just for content, where try to go 12-0 on Xbox, and then shift over to the next run on PS5. And yeah, that just wasn't happening. It wasn't. It wasn't. So,
But see,
you
I felt like last year I couldn't play ranked on the Xbox. I don't know if I do have a newer monitor now, so maybe
okay?
that has something to do with it. But I could play VR on the Xbox all day. But dude, Hall of Fame on Xbox just felt so rough for me. But it's completely different this year, so kind of weird. It probably has something to do with a monitor, but you
Yeah,
know,
it could have been. I can't say because I barely played ranked last year. I plan to play a little bit more this year. I think I have 11 games in my belt, which
there you
is
go.
quite, yeah, getting there. And now I'm just focusing my main account, just doing theme teams because that's the only way I'm going to play ranked. I have no, I have no. We'll get it into it more when we go over the new rank seasons, but I have like no initiative to just go into try to get World Series. I don't know why, but we could get more into that later. Going back to the Xbox PS5 though, it's definitely I mean, I'm very surprised the company that doesn't make Power A controllers has not, like, linked up to any content creators just by how we advertise this freaking controller 24/7 because I really feel like this is made for MLB The Show, and I never thought you could have a controller made for this game, right? This is just a sports game, right? But the sticks are so freaking good. And then you have like it's like the Super Nintendo buttons, right? That feels so like the glossy buttons for the Xbox. Like it feels like I don't know. I was Xbox player from the start. Before I moved over to Sony, because of MLB The Show, and it just gives me that retro feel. But anyway, I'm with you though. Xbox all the way.
Xbox. We're in Scuffy.
Yep, yep.
Bleed
So,
green.
I did start to I put crossplay back on now.
Okay.
And I tried it out this year, no issues. For me
Okay.
personally, everything felt good playing against PlayStation users. Now I'm seeing a little bit more better competition, which I like to push me, especially in VR. Literally had like an 18-11 game. Just I forgot his name. He did have TTV in his name. I wish I remember what it was. It was like TJ Slays. You ever
Oh
heard of
yeah,
him?
he's a good player.
Yeah. So we were going back and forth. Dude, I don't know you anything you throw in the zone, he was hitting out. Um, and then we had this epic VR game. I was 7-0 in my run, matched up with him. Epic game. He was up by 5 in the 3rd. No, yeah, he was up by 5. I had 1 out remaining. I got the 5 back, and I was like, "How am I doing this right now? I don't know how." And then I had the Kyle Tucker. By the way, I could hit with Kyle Tucker finally. The
Okay.
face of franchise, Kyle Tucker, amazing.
Elite.
Hit yeah, absolutely. So I hit one dead center. I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna walk this off since I'm home." It just misses. It's a warning track power, and I was like, "Oh, that's the game," because next inning, dude went off, scored like 10,
Oh.
11 runs off me. I was like, "How is this possible?" Just couldn't pitch
Dude,
to him.
some of these
But
guys are just so good at this game. It's insane.
it's like a robot. I
Yep.
mean, legit, anything out of the zone, they take. Anything in the zone, it's blasted, no matter where it is. And I just hit my cap. It's like one of those games where I'm having fun with, even though I'm losing, because it just you
It's
laugh
electric.
because yeah, it's electric, and you laugh just how good this person is. Like you respect it, right? So it's just like a tip of cap your moment. I gave it my best. I was right there. Um, but yeah.
You do what you can in those moments. You try your best, and then whatever happens, happens.
Exactly. So, but yeah, we get there's the Xbox PS5 talk. There's a gameplay update. We talk about the hitting stuff. I think it's time to finally get into some content. I mean, we kind of hyped it up all last week on the last podcast with the new program roster update. And let's start up with the roster update. And I mean, the first roster of the year, let's just bring that out. We had 5 new diamonds. We had, I think, over 10 plus new golds. We had some golds to silver. We had some silver to bronze as well. But let's go over the diamonds first. We got Lindor, my boy Lindor gets to 85. He had a nice little April. Ozzy Albies, your guy Glacius,
Mhm.
going diamond. Carlos Rodon, and then former Giants pitcher Kevin Gossman. So
Yep.
5 new diamonds there, pretty solid. And then we had some diamonds to gold, like Bo Bichette, I believe, went to gold. Starlin Marte went to gold. There was a lot of others. I don't have them on my list, but we do have also silver to golds or bronze to golds. I think these are mostly silver to golds. We have Pablo Lopez, and we'll be talking about Pablo Lopez a little bit later. Garrett Whitlock, Frankie Montez, Andrew Kidridge, Shane McClannon, Logan Gilbert, Rizzo, France, Josh Bell, Nimmo, Wilson Contreras, Cabrian Hayes, CJ Crone, and of course, Jazz Chisholm. A lot of action going to that roster update. Um, I haven't really seen any feedback on investments through this roster update, like through the community, because with the new quick sell values, but you always expect this type of this is probably one of the biggest updates that we'll get for roster, like this one and the one at the end of the year, right?
Yeah.
Um, just the base on how many games that been played, but regardless, I mean, nothing surprising, I don't think.
Yeah. Nothing really surprising. I mean, what did they say in the stream beforehand? It was like 450 players were touched in this update, something like that.
Yeah.
Just an insanely large amount of movement in the roster update. But yeah, like I said, I didn't do much investing, and I haven't really heard too much about investments and like how things have gone for people. Just with the new quick sell values, it can be pretty weird. But I hope that they do make roster updates like big and explosive like this. Like, I don't think they necessarily need to jump the gun on making a bunch of guys diamond or anything like that. But
Mhm.
I hope that a lot of movement is happening in these roster updates. I hope we see a lot of players go silver to gold and have some downgrades in there too. Like, I don't think they have to be as hardcore exclusive with their golds and diamonds as they have in years past. So hopefully it's setting the tone for a good year.
Yeah, I think how you describing that, the COVID year was really fun, right?
Yeah.
That's when they were really aggressive, like, "All right, he's going diamond, he's going" I feel like they didn't have any restrictions on that. I don't really remember that much in 21, but I'm with you. I mean, the crazier the better, right? And especially with the quick sell values being the way they are now, it would be pretty cool to see. I do want to point out, just BR player me, if you are, I know the Soto's out there for the BR program right now. And by the way, I've been playing with that Soto, fantastic. I wouldn't draft him. The reason why I say that is because the quality of left fielder silver cards that are out there right now is unbelievable. I did the BR cheat sheet for us on Friday. I did like literally it was the hardest thing ever. We now have Giancarlo Stanton in silver, Joey Gallo's silver, Ian Happ, who's been my favorite BR player this year. Um, he's silver. Chris Bryant is now a silver. Kristen Yelich, Kyle Schwarber. The list goes on for left fielders. It's absolutely unreal how crazy the quality of left fielders silver cards that are out there right now due to this roster update. So I do just want to point that out there. And now if we want to talk about where's Soler is now bronze. Familia Reyes is now bronze. There's a few. Luke Voigt is now bronze as well. A few bronzes out there. If you guys from the roster update, Jorge Polanco here, Cougs. He I think we both loved Polanco cards last year, right? We
Yep.
loved every single one of them. Same with the other switcher with Escobar, Eduardo Escobar. But Jorge Polanco now goes silver. I mean, geez, I was having like I was smiling. It sucks because when you see these players go from gold to silver, you know they're not doing that great, right?
Yep.
But
Yep.
for
Yep.
me as a BR player, I'm like I'm like smiling ear to ear because I
The
have more
draft mind is moving.
yeah, I'll have more opportunities of draft these guys because the silver round is where you get um where you see these guys more often than not. Bronze, there's too many, and golds you have few rounds. So the silver guys are like your heart or your soul of your BR team. So it's kind of cool to see the quality of players that you can use here.
Yep. I'm with you. I love it.
Yeah. So we'll have another roster update in 2 weeks. It looks like I'm not sure if they announced that, but I'm going to expect it's every 2 weeks now.
Probably
Um,
bi-weekly. That seems to be the way they do it every year. I think that works out pretty well too.
yeah, that works just fine. I mean, it gives you a week to invest if you can and go from there. But that's just the start of what we got on Friday. I mean, that's literally the tipping point. I mean, we now dive into the new program. So we get the spring cleanup program. Um, let's just briefly say who the bosses are. We got Zach Britton. We got, which is the milestone, Zach Britton. This is the first ERA milestone that we ever had when he had the 0.54. We got Eddie Matthews making his return. I mean, he's always a solid card to have. Ernie Banks, the All Star in 1959. I wasn't. Is this the same Ernie Banks from last year being a collection?
No, I don't think
I
this
don't think
earned.
so. Right.
Yeah, I think it was a different. No, no, no. Yeah, he was a 90, a
Four.
95 or a 94, something like that. Yeah,
Okay.
this is a different one. I think it might
Okay.
be a different year too.
Okay. I just want to make sure of that. And then we got a new card that we never see. David Justice gets his first card. Remember, he only had the awards card last year, um, with being in the game for the first time. But now we get the 93 second half, David Justice, and then um the franchise Tom Seaver being the 1971 All Star card for being 93 overall. When you look at the cards itself, what it screams out to me, Cougs, is it's just solid choices, but nothing extraordinary. Like I'm not going to say safe choices, but they're all solid. Where you'll find someone using these two cards, and then you might find another player using another two cards, which is perfect if you think of content wise. So, but that's what I get from right.
Yeah.
Um, and you can't go wrong with
Yeah,
any
no,
choice you make.
I feel that. I think, I think all of these cards have like decent value for the position they are. I think Seaver is going to be a better pitcher than a lot of people think. Um, David Justice looks good with those reverse splits.
Yeah,
Ernie Banks, having that high contact and good power against both sides with good fielding at shortstop. Eddie Matthews just being a nice lefty power bat that you could plug in the middle of your lineup. And then, of course, I think the best pick is Zach Britton getting a sinker slider mix as a lefty out of the bullpen with 99 velo, 99 break, and outlier. I think all of these cards have good value. And so, I think the bosses are fine. I think the biggest thing that I like about this program is the fact that on the packs, they are choice packs and we
Yes.
can sell them this time around. Not
Yes.
the system we had in the face of the franchise program where it was a random no sell pack on the first go around. Didn't like that.
No, I think they did a fantastic job from listening to feedback from the first program. We got, like you said, the choice pack for both bosses, and not that much XP as you needed last time, right? You only need 150 XP. Of course, this is 150,000 for the first choice, and then 225 for the second one. And not only that, they give you up to 750 thousand for more, and you just get loads and loads of packs. And what was two things people were asking for? I mean, I'm already done. First was the let me not have random packs. Check. Let me do something over 600. Check. So they nailed that like right from the start. And you just got to give credit where credit's due. I mean, you have a lot to do already to get up to, I guess, 150, which I know a lot of people are. I think we saw David Justice being sold by either like early Saturday or late Friday night.
Yep.
And then, yeah, it's been solid, man. Um, Me personally, if I had to choose two right now, it would probably be the Zach Britton and the David Justice because I love reverse splits, as you said. Um, and there's something about David Justice. I struggled with them so much last year, but I love this swing. It's so weird. I
Hmm.
really like this swing because it's two handed, and I love two handed swings. But I just didn't have the results. What I
Hmm.
wanted from him. So I definitely want to try out that card. And like you said, the Zach Britton, what you just pretty much said, on top of the 120 H per nine,
Yeah, I didn't even touch that. Jeez.
this card is an end game card. Um, Simple as that. I mean, you could use this card throughout the year, especially it's much easier to power up relief pitchers this year than last year. So you'll be able to get him by at least like say, I mean, it's going to be at that point where do I still want to use him because I use him so much, right? Um,
Yeah.
that's what's going to come into factor. And you did say about Tom Seaver, he might be better than I thought. At first, I was like, I was a little disappointed because of his H per nines, but then again, he might play above his attributes just by his pitch mix and be able the difference in speed that he could bring to the
Yeah.
table, which
And
is
and
nice.
I wanna even touch on it. According to Ochev, I haven't used the Tom Seaver yet, but according to Ochev, he has the same issue that Hershiser had, where he's got like a generic windup right now. I
They
don't
fixed
know.
it, I believe.
Did they
They
fix
fi
it?
they fixed his, but they didn't fix the others yet, and they
Hmm.
said that the others are gonna be, in the next update
Okay.
because it
I
has to be
didn't.
an
I didn't
update
know
to
they
fix
said
it.
anything about it.
Yeah, um, I read that a little bit earlier. Yeah, so we'll be fixing next content update, I believe.
Okay, that's good to know. That's
Yep.
yeah, because that's a little bit annoying when you grind and you get this pitcher and you're like, oh yeah, can't wait to use him, and then you go and he's got like this generic type of windup, and it's like, well, you know, I don't care what pitches you have, this isn't gonna fool anybody. So yeah, yeah, I
Yeah.
think all the bosses have decent value.
Yeah, and they already give you a bunch to do the conquest map. I really liked. We could segue Vincent to here. How you get what 2,000 XP from the event just for one win?
Yep.
Is it repeatable? Someone said it was repeatable. I wasn't sure if that's
Yeah, yeah,
confirmed
yeah.
or not.
You get
Yeah,
2,000 XP for every event win.
that's. I mean, come on now. That's
That's
pretty dope.
great. That's a
That's
great
dope.
way to do it.
And with the new event, we kind of discussed it last week with the requirements being the AL East, NL East, and NL Central players. But the wins you get from 15, you get Wade Boggs, and then for 20, you get Johnny Bench. Am I crazy to say I think that Wade Boggs is better than that Johnny Bench card?
You are perfectly sane. Like the Johnny Bench card. I mean, cool defense, but like
Yeah.
I need a guy. I need a guy that can hit a little bit, especially when we're gonna start getting some of these better hitters coming into the game.
Yeah,
I need a guy that can swing it a little bit. And Wade Boggs doesn't have the greatest power in the world, but I mean that contact and he's
he
got
plays
kind of
above
a
his attributes. He
absolutely.
does.
He's got that glitchiness to him. He's
Yeah.
good.
This is where we need his 99 and Tony Gwynn's 99 come out, like, not now, I'm saying, come out sooner before any other, like, monster cards come out, right?
Yep.
That's what we're looking for. But that's what I'm saying, Wade Boggs I always loved using his cards because, like you said, he just has that glitchiness that is just known in MLB The Show, and he plays above his attributes, so, um,
Plus, there's
I
also not like a crazy amount of like great third baseman in the game right now. It's pretty much like what Troy Gloss, Wade Boggs, Eddie Matthews now. Like
yeah,
there's not like an insanely high amount. I guess I mean when I'm playing against him, Jose Ramirez is the best third baseman in the game. So
yes.
there's a very limited amount of options. So having a guy like that for a third baseman at this point is pretty big too.
Well, probably limited options till next week, depending who we get.
Yeah,
We'll get to
yeah.
that then. We'll get that in a little bit. But yeah, I agree. I mean, it's cool to see. I mean, just have him off to start, and like I said, I mean, just me personally, I would just get up to 15, or just keep on using for the program for the XP itself. But do note that you do get cap of gameplay XP each day. Don't know what that exactly is. I think it's in the 50K, 60K
Yeah, I don't know.
area.
I think last year it was like 65 or 75, something like
Yeah.
that. I don't know if it's the same. Yeah, I've really got no idea.
Yeah, but another thing they did with events is, which I thought it came out of nowhere, and I thought it was kind of early, but hey, we'll take it. Is the rewind event packs? So they put those packs in. So if you haven't played any events previously, like didn't get any rewards, like myself, you could get 10 wins. I believe. I think they have two packs in there. One at 10, one at 30. Um, if you get 10 wins, you get a choice of any event reward that was in previous events. So I thought that was pretty cool already. Now looking at it, it kind of makes sense because look at what the overalls are, right? Like if they put that pack in when we're getting like higher overalls, I mean, are you going to use those cards? Probably
Nope.
not, just for collections to get them base. So I see why they put that in, to have you actually be able to use those cards, not just collect it for collections. However, I also see the flip side. It brings down the value, right? So if someone might
Yeah,
be holding on
like
to these cards to sell them.
yeah, like banking on them or something. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I've been buying every card the day before the events end. So I bought Bob Gibson, I bought Greg Maddux, I bought every one of the guys. All all I know is that with this rewind pack, I now feel really bad for everybody that grinded those 25 event wins at Forbes Field the other week. Like, oh, you didn't have to do that.
Uh,
You put yourself through pain for nothing.
yeah, that's true. That's true. It's funny because we were talking about that last week, how you're like, you want events to be longer. And I feel like every comment that we had on your YouTube was 110% just agreeing with you. Events need to be
Disagreeing.
longer. Events need to look. No, agreeing.
Oh,
Like,
agreeing. Oh, okay, okay.
agreeing that it needs to be longer. So everyone was agreeing, like, yeah, it needs to be longer. So we'll see where
Maybe
they
I mean,
go.
would it be a fair trade though if they kept events to a fairly short range, but just kept having the rewind pack in every single event
And just
path?
choose which one you want to play in. I'll be down for that.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I don't see
They don't really.
what's an issue with that.
How much do they go for the market anyway? Like, they don't go for that much.
Yeah, I haven't spent more than like 20, maybe 25K on an event reward.
Yeah.
They've been pretty cheap.
Yeah. So, I mean, and to be honest, with you, the wars have actually been pretty solid. Like, I mean, I know we were kind of getting on Johnny Bench, but we had the Cheezek. I believe the Bob Gibson with Maddox could be good.
Even early game Nolan Ryan can be all right for a lot of
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, exactly. Was no, Soriano part of the event
Yep.
too?
He was
Yeah.
in,
With
I
121
think,
power?
yeah, and that's the card that has Derek Jeter on it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, that's a benchmark right there. I mean, so I got no complaints on revenge forwards for now. I just do feel like they should have switched the bench and Wade Boggs, but
Yeah,
that's just nitpicking.
I feel that.
To go now, we could get into actually. Let me see if I want to do anything else. Yeah, let's go to ranked seasons first before we get into tops now, because we'll use tops now to segue into player month predictions, which we'll do in a little bit. So we got new ranked seasons, which started today, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. If you're listening, this has already started. We got early game Kershaw, 93 overall Kershaw. I believe he's a
Breakout card.
breakout, yeah, breakout card. And then we got Vinny Castilla as well. It was kind of a tease because Cougs, the way they were teasing it for the Vinny Castilla, you saw it was it was a two-time Silver Slugger, right? And or two or three time, and it was in Old Marlins Stadium. And who matched up to that was Carlos Delgado, and I was like, okay, is this going to be is this how they're releasing him? Putting him right into like an early diamond 2005 year when he played on the Marlins, which he had a great year with them. I was like, okay, I'm ready. I'm going to be grinding World Series for sure on this. And then they put the twist on it on both teases where they are the part of the away team. They haven't done that recently, so it was a nice little twist on their reveals. But we got All-Star 1998 Vinny Castilla, very balanced card. 94 contact against righties and lefties, 96 power against righties, and then 87 power against lefties. And of course, he has goal defense. The speed is not the greatest, but he'll be a nice contact, balanced contact power hitter for you. Or if you want to go Kershaw as well. I mean, Kershaw does have the five pitches, does have a sinker. His H per nines are 86. And then, of course, that 12-6, man, is 74 miles an hour when he has a 94 plus and 90 his four seam and sinker.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what do you think? What do you think about these cards? Like, what's
I
your
feel
baseline thought about them?
I feel like they're kind of like program cards. Like they're not it, they're not wanting me to chase for World Series or put
Okay.
the amount of minutes in. And it's funny because we were talking about this on um before we went on, and we saw a movies tweet where he analyzed how much time it would take you to do innings. Now let's just say what they did for they did reduce the innings where you have to get 50 in I think it's 50 less innings that you typically do, and now you could do more after you get the World Series. So it's 350 innings to get the World Series reward, and then they pushed it to 600 innings, where you get some packs, you get like a five bowlings, and then the last one at 600, you get a 20 pack. Um, but just going over it's funny. He did 350 innings of gameplay divided by 9 innings a game equals 38.8, right? So he
Yep.
did 38.8 times 45 minutes, which is the average of a 9 inning game, right? 30 to 45, no quit outs, nothing going
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
And that's 1750 minutes, or you want to put it into hours, is roughly 29 hours of ranked play you got put in how long? When does it end? On the 30th? So it's pretty much an hour a day if you think of it. If you get through a whole full 9 inning
Yeah.
game,
Yeah.
which you
That's the
still
big
see,
thing there.
which you still see quit outs and so on. It's just seeing these rewards on top of that, like when doing that math, it just doesn't like do it for me. Um,
Yep.
but that's pretty much it. I mean,
Well, I
simple
think
as that.
I was listening to Dimu, or a friend of the show, Daddy Dimu TV,
Who should
watching
be
his
on
stream.
soon? Bear was.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yep.
It's always entertaining having Tyler on the pod.
Yeah.
But he made a good point. It's like, you know, these cards, honestly, they look cool for right now. At this point in time, they look cool. But I mean, when you factor in that a lot of people who get these cards are going to get them from just grinding out an insane amount of innings, making World Series, whatever. By the time this ranked season ends, like if you get the reward towards the end of the ranked season, like how good are these cards really going to be? Like what is the shortstop and starting pitcher pool going to look like in 3 or 4 weeks? Are these guys even going to be like the top dogs at their position? Are we going to have significantly more shortstops and pitchers? Like, I think it's like these cards are cool for literally today, but not exactly sure how they're going to be in like a month from now. So I think that's the biggest thing. Um,
Mhm.
I didn't really use Vinny Castilla very much last year. I believe he was a Team Affinity 4 drop, like a new legend or something like that.
Mhm.
Um, and Kershaw, like, I don't know how I feel about Kershaw yet. I mean, he's got the pitch mix that's pretty solid. Of course, his delivery, but like, I don't know. I'm not, I just don't really know how I feel. None of these cards, or neither of these cards, really are like, oh man, I got to make World Series tomorrow. Like
Yeah.
none of them really do that for me. So I don't know.
Oh,
That's me, but I'm sure Castilla will actually play well. It's
yeah.
just how well will he be compared to other shortstops?
Yeah, I agree. I feel like we haven't had that feeling for World Series for quite a while. Like even in 21, like we have to make it, right?
hmm Yeah, I
I,
will.
I
Well, in 21 we had guys like Verlander, and we had guys like
okay.
there was another one, Trout, finest Trout. He was a World
That
Series
was
worst.
World Series award? Oh
Yeah, I'm
man,
pretty
my
sure.
my memory's shot. I'm getting old here, Coogs.
Yeah, but then again, those are guys towards the end of the year.
Yeah, that's the end of the
Um,
year. That's true.
so yeah,
Um,
I don't really remember a lot of the early game World Series rewards. But then again, everything's scaled. Like, it kind of just goes to show that you don't necessarily need to play ranked seasons if you don't want to
yeah,
to get these cards. Like, and at the end of the day, with how we've seen, they're probably gonna be fairly cheap on the market before too long. Like, I think Dontrell was going for like 40K for most of the
he
month.
was. Yep,
So
I got him for 44.
yep.
It's
I haven't even
crazy.
used him yet. I got him. I haven't even used him.
Yep. No, I'm just now I'm at the point where I just want to collect because like I said, I'm going to bring up Carlos Segal. I know it looks like he's in the game. Like we're not 100% certain, but it looks like he's in the game. I'm feeling he's going to be collection, and I don't want to be behind that.
That would
Um,
be a sick
I,
collection.
I'm just, it's just so exciting to know that the possibility is out there for him getting a game. It's like I'm like I don't know fanboying over here, but that's I can't help myself.
It's
Um,
okay to fanboy. It's your guy.
So, you know who else I'm going fanboy about was, the pennant reward, right? So we got Richie Ashburn. I was so stoked that we got
Yeah,
him
I
out there, Cooks.
finally, dude.
If you talk about rewards, I mean, that's the award you gotta go for was pennant reward Richie Ashburn with his 29 plus power that he has. Uh,
Yeah, just it's an electric factory of an outfielder right there.
yeah. But
Uh,
anyway,
yeah.
as you could tell the drits, we Richie Ashburn is the pennant reward card, which probably is not gonna get that much playing time unless
No,
you're a
yeah.
Philly fan. That's about
Yeah,
it.
but you also got a Troy Percival.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's him and
Oh,
Troy Percival. It's a good old 3 pitch mix Percival. Gotta love him.
what so he has fastball slider,
I
changeup?
think it's fastball, curveball, changeup. I don't have the card in front of me.
I'm
It's something
curious
like
if they
that.
gave him a circle change this year instead.
They
I
might
don't
have.
think he I don't think he threw one, but you know how they are with the circle change. They're giving everyone circle change just like they did with sinkers.
Yep.
Um
It's kind of like that new pitch.
It makes sense by how the game functions with the break of that pitch. I don't even care if they don't throw a circle change. It's just the break of the circle change feels like a changeup in this game. Um, I don't know. That's me. But yeah, we got Richie Ashburn for the pennant reward if you want him. And then we go from there. But like I said, I don't know. Rank is just it. I have to do something where like I was saying, I had to do theme teams in order for me to get ranked to make me want to play with cards I don't really play with and then take it there. I just don't have that aspiration of putting this time in, even if seeing those rewards and just getting no fun out of it sometimes because you don't I don't know I don't know. I've been on this rant for, I don't know, about 2 years now, that ranked seasons. I just feel like I think it's not more towards ranked seasons, I think it's more towards we need a competitive mode in this game because we have none, where you
Yep.
could play the long length games and have that thrill of a competitive stage at that level. Yes, I know they do the ESL stuff, not ESL anymore, but they do the esports stuff, um, but not like for me personally, I mean, I'm 34. I'm not gonna be able to dedicate a whole weekend to it. I will love something if it was cross, say, Thursday to Sunday, like a weekend league type, where I could put couple games here at night each night, and then have that competitive feel to it. But right now,
Yeah, I that's something that I feel like is long overdue at this point. There's got to be something, man. Like ranked, it's just like there's always going to be a place for 9 inning games, absolutely. And in my opinion, competitive MLB The Show should be 9 inning games. But I don't know, man. Yeah, the idea just with how the game plays, with how ranked is, especially when you get to the higher levels, like it it can be a drag to play. So yeah,
and
that competitive mode is long overdue.
yeah, and you know what they could do if they had that type of competitive mode, they could have a competitive mode like setting, right? Where you get like get more rewards, like better your input's really going to matter more, right? So you could segue them to in. But then again, that brings another element. Oh, now we have this other difficulty that you have to adjust to, but there's something you could do there
Yep.
that could branch everything together. But I think we've been talking about this for I don't know ever since we've been a podcast. So,
Yeah. And trust me,
uh,
we've been talking about it long before you and I decided to hop on a
yeah,
podcast too.
exactly, exactly. It won't be the last time either. So, um, but yeah, that's our rank season segment. Speaking of seasons, we got a mini seasons update. I believe tomorrow. I believe it's at 3 p.m. Pacific time, or 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 Pacific. Don't call me that, but there should be a new update on that, and then maybe we'll get a new diamond card. I haven't really seen that Ligori anywhere. Haven't tried them out. I always like Ligori cards, but just haven't had a chance to do mini seasons this time around.
Yeah, I
I
haven't
know
really seen anybody use them either.
so. We'll see what goes there. I'm very curious of what be the new hidden mission, whatever they do, and go from there. But if you're still grinding the new program, mini season is going to give you tons of XP. So once that comes out tomorrow, that'll give you a whole bunch. But I do have to say, with the bugs aside, because I do see bugs that are still happening in mini seasons, just the mode itself I do have to applaud them introducing that because I have buddies that are not like diehards of this game, but are just this is what they do, and they
Yeah.
are enjoying many seasons. Be able to play with their DD team against computers, be able to have like that season architect, and then try to be World Series champions afterwards. So I just had to say, love the mode. I can't wait to see what they expand on top of the mode, like theme teams or something like that. But
Yeah,
you know,
it's a really cool idea for a mode. And like I said, we'd been asking for more ways for offline play too. Like,
yeah.
we've been talking about the competitive online mode, but like we've also said the offline players need some more stuff too. Like the same play versus CPU extra innings grind just isn't gonna cut it nowadays. And here we are. We got this mode that has standings. You can play with your DD team against other DD teams. It's great. So hopefully the competitive mode kind of gets the same types of treatment in MLB 23.
Yep. Can't agree more. And now we could get to the juicy part because we are going to be looking forward to next week. But before we do that with the player of month predictions, let's talk about the tops and out cards we got
Yeah.
this week. And I loved how they did this, right? So we saw two of these three get supercharged through within the week before the tops now, and that was Michael King and then Eric Lowry. Lowry had the 13 Ks against the Phillies, and Michael K had through 7 consecutive strikeouts in one of his showings, and then they got supercharged, right? And I believe everyone really loved the Michael King once he got that update to supercharge. Like and even he went to silver as well in the roster update, but everyone loved that card. Same with Eric Lauer, got to use him, start getting comfortable with him. And then now they gave him the 85 overall tops down card, which I love what they did there. And then we got rookie Mackenzie Gore getting his first diamond. That's not a future star card um, into the show with I believe he got his first win with 5 shutout innings. So um, solid 3 cards right there.
Very solid. Yeah, I thought they were all pretty good. That Michael King, I think the best thing about that Michael King is not only does he have a great pitch mix, but he's
Oh
got like
yeah.
50 stamina. Like
Yep.
those guys will definitely have spots in people's bullpen. Anybody that has that long reliever stamina is gonna be a good one. So yeah, no, really good tops now. and it should be the second to last tops now for April.
Yep, definitely. We'll probably get 3 more this week, and then we will be on our way of the April monthly rewards. Also, that Michael King, also why you say 50 stamina, and then he has 3 pitchers with 99 break
Yeah, he's
as
filthy.
well. It's absolutely I saw that card, I was like, "Wow." Giving this for free, and I loved it. So I need to catch up on those moments though, but that'll be when I just gonna sit back and watch my Met game, um, and do my moments there. But go on to the April monthly rewards. As we saw, there's 3 stages now. You have to do all those moments, and then you will had to have all those top down cards to collect in order to go to the next stage, and the next stage will eventually include the Andre Dawson. Now, before we get to player of month predictions, let's bring the Dawson back up to conversation. By the time we get this 91 Dawson, when we first saw the Dawson, we were like, fantastic card, right? But by the time we get this Dawson, it feels a little bit too late, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Like it's just not going to live up to other cards that we just got throughout the time that been revealed. And we'll still have other cards that would probably play above him. Now, if we're able to get him, I'm not saying just have him be available like stage 1 next month. I'm saying more have a better card where you're going to be by that time where we'll be able to unlock them.
yeah, yeah.
Plain and simple.
Yeah, especially, I mean, we don't know exactly what the Lightning card is going to look like for this month, whoever ends up getting it, but I think we can assume it's somewhere between 93 to 95. Um, so the fact that Dawson's a 91, like in my opinion, the Legend Lightning card should like match up in overall with whoever gets the actual Lightning card from this current month of April. And I don't think whoever wins this one is going to get a 91. I think they'll be a little bit higher. Um, but yeah, but then you got to think about it's like, okay, well, you have 91 Dawson, right? And he gets revealed what 3 weeks, whatever, before the actual monthly awards drop is. Like if he was like a 95 or something, does that kind of like is he too OP for like battle royale at that point? Because if you're gonna have the card in the program but not
Yeah.
available to actually unlock yet, like it's just a weird little like it's a thing they do. MLB has a history with showing us cards and then not releasing that card or not letting us unlock that card for a few weeks, if not even longer. We go back to 18 with Immortals, like,
Yeah.
we saw those cards from day one. Um, so in my opinion, for next monthly awards drop for May, I would prefer if they just didn't show us who the Lightning
Yeah.
flashback is, and then on the day we get the May monthly awards, we just are surprised with this Lightning player from a previous year that kind of has the same type of power to him. So that's
Yeah.
what I hope they do, but I doubt it. I think they'll still probably keep doing the Legend Lightning early type of thing.
Yep. I like your idea though. And then it's really hyped, right? Not you're just not just getting one line card right there, you're getting two, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
But we'll see. They're usually good with. I think with it being the first time they're doing this, they just got to see how it plays out, and that's how I feel right now.
Mhm.
I think that's how we both feel. So, anyway, player of month this Thursday. So they're doing it on Thursday. They're dropping on Thursday, not Friday. Um, I I was saying before we started, I think this is like the first time where we don't have to look up like stats. I think we kind of already know who we would like to see for player a month. So let's start out with 3 hitters, not lighting, and then 3 pitchers,
Three-hitters
not
not
light.
lightning. Okay.
Yeah, 3 pitchers or three pitchers and 3 hitters, not lighting. That you think could be in the program. I think it's about going to be like 10 cards that we're getting from
Something
what
like
we
that. Yeah.
something like that. And then, of course, we go for our lightning card, being the end. So, you want to start with hitters or pitchers first?
Let's do pitchers.
Okay, we'll do like 3 total, like 3 between us two, and then
Okay.
we'll try to agree to one because I feel like we're gonna have the same ones.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but I'm gonna start out a little bit. not obvious. And I'm going to go with my boy. I'm going to go with I call him Sylor McGill.
Hmm.
I think Tyler McGill should get a player a month. Just the way he's been taking on a task of replacing the Grom and living up to that task. And he has like a 1.93 ERA. And I feel like he'll be nice to have. He always was supercharged, right? And we didn't get a tops now card with him. So I feel like he's going to have like a low, like a 92, 93 diamond that I like to see. So I'm going to go with him being like on the very start of the program, not like the middle or the end of the player, just like the start, because they usually progress with the overalls. So I feel like he's going to be on the lower side, but still have a diamond in there.
Okay, I like it. I like the pick. Um, I'm gonna stay in your division.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with the defending World Series champs. I'm gonna go Kyle Wright. Um,
Ooh.
dude pitched 24 innings with a 1.13 ERA, struck out 34 hitters, was tied for third in the entire major leagues with the amount of strikeouts in the month of April. The only guys ahead of him, or he's tied with Aaron Nola and Eric Lauer, who already got a tops now card. And the only guys ahead of him are Carlos Rodon with 38 strikeouts and Shane McClanahan with 42. But Kyle Wright has just looked so good. I think he would be a good one. Plus, I think his pitch mix would be really good. I think he's got like sinker slider type stuff going on for him. So,
Okay.
yeah, we'll go Kyle Wright.
All right. Sweet. It's kind of hard to put the third one together. I mean, who we think? I think there's multiple names out there that we could talk about. But if we had to choose one, let's say, I feel like you could put Pablo Lopez, 0.39 ERA. I will say this: if we get a player month, Pablo Lopez, I actually tweeted this out earlier today. He could be that next guy. You know what I'm talking about? That next pitcher with his pitch mix and with the ERA he already has, and with the his H per nine should be rather good. He gave up 13 hits in 23 innings. Only had 4 walks. Didn't even get only one earned run here, Cougs, in
Yep,
4 starts.
it's pretty
I
good.
feel like he could be that next pitcher, and it's ironically he's on the Marlins, right? So we had that Edward Cabrera last year. I feel like he could be the next guy.
Yeah, him and like, cause he won National League Pitcher of the Month, and then you got the guy who won AL Pitcher of the Month. Um,
Yeah,
Logan Gilbert.
yeah,
Probably not the best actual Diamond Dynasty card because of
uh-huh.
his what he throws. It's pretty generic, like four seam slider, change up type guy. But hey, I mean, he had a hell of a month with a. Let's see, what did he have? He had a 0.40 ERA in 22 and a third innings with 22 strikeouts. 4-0 or 3-0 record. Like he did pretty well this month. So I could see him getting a lightning or not a lightning, a player of the month card for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. Speaking also, like you said, MLB Show, like you would like to, Merrill Kelly would be a name to look out if you like, because he has that pitch mix, right?
Mhm.
I believe he has a sinker. I'm not sure if he has a cutter too. I know he has 5 pitches, but that'll be a card to look out for as well. I'm not sure. Sandy just went to gold to silver, so I don't think they're going to boot. But he did have a good April before games started. Um, so I see them more going with Pablo Lopez, but I think those are the names that we're going to see, right?
Yeah. Plus, there's also, if we wanted to go to a reliever, possibly
Yeah.
Jordan Romano from
Yes.
Toronto. He's the only guy other than Josh Hader who has double digit saves so far. He's got 10 saves and 11 appearances. I think the only one he blew was a game against the Astros. I think that was the one where Jeremy Pena hit a walk off bomb or something like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, 1.59 ERA in 11 and a third innings pitched with 13 strikeouts. Whip at 0.88. I think he'd be a solid one to get for sure. He'd probably throw really hard in the game too.
Yep. Also Taylor Rogers, look out for him for a lefty. We know about his gold. He didn't give up a run in April in his 9 games.
Sweet.
8 saves in 8.2 thirds inning. So he could be someone we could look out for. I mean, he has a sinker. He has 3 pitches: fastball, slider, sinker, or fastball, sinker, change. I forget which one. But that could be another one to look out for. Daniel Bard, from the Rockies. 2.25, 8 games, gave up only 2 earned runs, struck out 11. He has another good pitch mix that we would like to see in MLB Show. So those are a couple names you could definitely put out there. Uh, Now for hitting wise here, Cougs. I mean, we kind of already know like three different names for lightning cards, right? It could be any of those three, but I just don't know who else could be up there for like not being the lightning cards, right? Like I feel like Rizzo's not going to get the lightning card, I don't think, right?
No,
But he could definitely get a diamond card.
he yeah. Sorry, I was confused there for a second. Yes,
Yeah, no worries.
he could get a player of the month card. Yeah. I don't think he's getting the lightning. I'm with you
Yeah,
on
I
that. I
said that
mean,
completely wrong. That's
no,
I
yeah,
confused.
you're good. I was just making sure I was right. But how many?
No,
He's
yeah,
got what? 9 homers? 9 homers in
in
uh
April, yeah.
23 games in April, something like
Yep,
that.
yep. Kind of
Um,
crazy.
yeah, another guy who had a lot of home runs. You got CJ Crone had 7. Um, Ozzy Albies had a actually no, he only hit 214. So with a 782 OPS. I thought he was doing a little bit better, but I don't know, I guess
Mhm.
I'm wrong. But okay, but who's a guy like a non who's another non lightning guy you can think of right
I
here?
want I want my boy Ian, man. I mean,
Ian
he
Happ?
didn't have the I wanted him. Just give him back. Give me that 92, 93 overall. He only had like his power's not gonna be there. He only had 2 home runs, but he hit 317. His OPS was what 889. So I mean, it's still good. It's not like out of ordinary. There's probably other names that you could get. Like JP Crawford had a good month, and of course Jazz as well. But I think who we could lock in is the guy that plays in Seattle. That's not JP Crawford. Is I guess his infield mate I, with Ty France. Ty France had
Okay.
that great game, got supercharged. He could have a nice card.
Yeah, 21 RBI in April for him.
Yep.
I gotta also stay with my Angels. I
Oh
don't think he'll
yeah.
get the Lightning card, but Taylor Ward's got to get something. Man had a
Yeah.
1284 OPS, 784 slugging, 5 homers, including one grand slam and a multi-homer game, 13 runs batted in, 11 walks. The dude was just doing everything right. He just looks so comfortable at the plate, and he's obviously probably not going to keep that entire or that hot streak the entire season. He'll definitely come back to earth a little bit at some point. So
Uh,
let's celebrate Taylor Ward, while he's hot here. But who's another sneaky one that could be pretty good? Um, Jock Peterson. We could
ooh.
get a player of the month, Jock. He had a 353 average. This is in 16 games. 353 average, 382 on base, 745 slugging with an 1127 OPS, 6 homers, 2 doubles. I don't know. I can try to pull up how many have been against righties because, the Giants, they're
Mhm.
probably platooning him fairly well. They're probably doing what the Giants do. Um, but he could be a solid player of the month card for April for sure.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of names to go off here. I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. But like you said, we should get about, I say, about almost like 8 or 9 of these low diamond cards. And I'm curious if there's going to be a different way of, is it just going to be moments? Because now we have the different like setup. Very curious on that. But we'll definitely talk about that next week. But for the lightning card, I think we could agree that it could be three players, right? It could be J Ram. It could be Nolan Arenado, who both won player of the month, and then it could be Buxton. Buxton could make his return. Now, let me say, if Buxton makes a return, are you going to try to discover him 2 years in a
No,
row being the
no,
April player?
no. I that one. Well, like I said, that was an unintentional discovery. It was great that it happened, but it wasn't planned. But I
It could be
actually
like
I
on the two time, like
yeah, back to back. Um, but no, I honestly don't think it'll be Buxton. I really just think it's down between Arenado and a J Ram.
yeah.
And I think it'll be Jose Ramirez. I know that I think J Ram and Arenado actually both went up in the roster update, but I think honestly, I do think we're kind of past the days of, oh, but he already has an 88 or he has a 90. Like
Oh
I
yeah.
I, I think we're kind of past those days. I think they do want to actually celebrate the player that won or one of the players that won. And let's say the two guys who win player of the month is like Mike Trout, and whenever he comes back, like Jacob DeGrom or something like
Mhm.
that. Like, they could always there's other guys that they could mix in, but um yeah, I think I'm thinking J Ram for sure. Arenado, it could be Arenado. He would be cool with the defense, but I think that switch hitting J Ram would be just he would be really good, especially with the power numbers he's put up.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, this will be the second time he gets it. I agree. I think it's going to be J-Ram as well. Be the second time he gets it. We saw what he got in September with the 99 J-Ram. It was unbelievable. This will be a little bit less overall, but I'm going to say what was Buxton last year? 95, 96,
Yep, 95.
95. So, I mean, it's still going to be a very, very solid card. Um, so I'm rooting for J-Ram. I love his swing. I love everything he's doing, and I love the way he put out today. Just in real life, where he said he wanted to be in Cleveland. He didn't care how much money he made. He dedicated. It's just Cleveland finally got their guy right after
Yeah.
trading Lindor and now getting J-Ram to sign an extension. And he wants to be there until pretty much he retires, so it's pretty cool to see, and he's fantastic, but he's an MVP type player. Um, who knows? He could get one this year, so we'll definitely see that. And 95 to 96 overall is gonna be no joke. And I know we didn't mention this when we are going the roster update, but how about Trout? I'm kind of going off Trout, but now I'm thinking like 95, 96, and now we have the 97 live series card as well. So
The
I'm
the
very curious how
highest
they're
the highest
highest
his
it's
live
been
series has been since 2017.
before we went to 125.
Exactly.
So if this
But
was
yeah. Like, what but to be fair, like, once we did go to the 125 attributes, that's what opened the door to Immortal Trout, Signature Trout,
yeah,
Awards Trout, Finest Trout, all these flashback versions of him. There was really no point to giving him any other version than his live series in years past, but, once they went to 125, they could do that because they scaled the live series back, but now he's creeping up on 99 again on his live series. Do you think
I
if he
know.
goes crazy, do you think there's a chance that we do see 99 Trout as a live series?
I would love it. I would
I
love if they could do that.
I think that'd be so cool.
I know. Oh,
But
and
he's
speaking
gotta play. He's gotta play the way he's been playing for sure.
it's fun. We're really going off tangent after the player month predictions, but we knew going to like who we were talking about, who we want, and that's J Ram. Let's just settle that in. But going back to Trout talk, we didn't even talk about the market. What was going on in
Yep.
the market this week? It's just
Oh, yeah.
oh no, we did talk about it
No,
last week.
yeah, we
Yeah,
mentioned
we
it. It was
did.
the
Never
guy
mind.
who
We
had,
did
like,
talk about it
200
last week.
trouts or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah. I forgot. I thought I wasn't sure if we talked about it. We did talk about it last year. Okay, never mind that. But that looks like that's all cleared up. Either way, I would love to see a 99 live series Trout. That'd be dope. Just to see a 99 live series card again in this game would be dope.
Yeah,
That means
I agree.
Degrom when he comes back, man. They gotta push him up. If he stays the way he is, like Degrom's Degrom, I'm hoping by the end of the year he could push it up to at least be what is he, 94, 95 right now?
DeGrom? Yeah, I think he's like a 94. 90
Yeah,
I don't even know.
I think it's like a
Let's see.
94.
Let's see.
Um,
DeGrom is 93.
93. But yeah, if he has like a first half year like he did this year for his second half, because we're not going to see him till probably the second half of the year. I would love to see by the end of the year if he could get pushed at like 99 level. But this is Met fan talking. That's all. Um, but yeah, we'll have a lot to look forward to next week. We'll be talking all about this April monthly reward. We kind of review it too, see how we like the new format with the three different stages and go over all that fun stuff. I don't. Is there a new event coming out afterwards? I didn't look at the
I think
schedule.
I think on Thursday, I think there's a new one. Thursday or Friday.
Thursday, Thursday, Friday. Let's see. Doesn't say on the show.com, but there might. I mean, the way the events are growing, like we said before, we'll go there. And before we get off, I know we forgot this. The Kansas City Nike Connect program is out there where you can get that 89 Saberhagen. I had to hold my breath there because I really wanted that Mondesi,
Yeah, I
especially
know. I know.
with the news that he just got too. So there's the only way we're going to get a diamond Mondesi is through a flashback since he's going to be out for the year. Unfortunately, with the ACL tear.
Yeah.
But regardless, I love the Royals unis. By the way, it's simple, clean, and I love the baby blue in there. I know we discussed it last week. Just want to say that again. But yeah, you could do that. Get that XP towards the program as well. But yeah, the big thing to talk about next week here, Cougs, is April monthly rewards. We'll see how that goes. We'll get feedback on who we like from it, what players we played with so far, and go from there. And keep it real.
Yep. Gonna
All
be
right.
fun, man.
So another fun episode today. Appreciate you guys listening in. Be sure to hit thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube at Inside the Show. Once again, youtube.com/inside the show. Follow us on Twitter at Inside the Show PC. Be sure to follow along our BR cheat sheets and much more other stuff. We tried out a spaces on content. I did that on, was that Friday? Yeah, Friday. It was good. I was just it's different not having a chat when you go live like that, Cougs. It really
Yeah.
is. It's weird. So I might try it on YouTube. So on Thursday, I will try to go live um to go over just the content. It would be like a half hour, 2 hour on my lunch break doing that. So be sure to look out for that and see how that goes. But yeah, be sure to hit us follows over there. Follow my boy Kooks at Kooks46 on Twitter. You find all socials over there. I'm at Scuffy McGee TV. We'll catch you guys next week talking about all this April monthly awards, fun stuff. You know how it goes. And happy grinding.